It's finally time. Fire up the gerbils. The buffer is almost complete. The show is almost ready. The buffer is almost complete. The show is almost ready. The buffer is almost complete. The show is almost ready.
What's going on, man?
Good. Not much. Just trying to get through the rain. This rain is bad.
How's everybody doing? Billy, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, man. I can hear
I
you.
was saying that.
All right, cool deal. Looks like we're all good, man. We're all good. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in a little bit earlier this week. We were off last week, but we're back at it again. Got some cool topics to discuss this week. Nothing's off the table, including Billy's sunburn. Or what are we thinking about his fantastic sunburn? Where'd you get burnt, man? Up north?
So it was probably when I was down here. It was probably like 4 days ago. Me and my friends just went and tried to explore this one like abandoned area we always go to. That's probably where I get like most of my pictures and stuff. And we were just trying to walk out there. I think I probably got burnt there. Crazy story about that. I'm gonna go a little bit off topic, but as we were walking into the place, we heard gunshots, right? And at first it sounded like something maybe falling. Yeah. So it sounded like something maybe falling at first. So we kept walking. And as we got closer, we heard it again. It was like bang, bang, bang. I was like, all right, those are gunshots. We should turn around. So we turned around. I sent up my drone, and I know where this area where people are always shooting guns. They seem to like set up targets. So I flew my drone over, and I saw a car there, but no one outside. And then we started hearing gunshots from a different location. So we just left.
Dude, I would have been taillights. I would have been gone, man. No doubt.
Definitely a scary experience. And I don't think that anyone would have killed us. Like, I don't think they were trying to kill us, essentially. But, I mean, you never know. Stray bullet.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is not something you want to mess with.
I don't know. Nowadays, with everything, I'm, like, sort of paranoid. I'm just like, I don't even want to be in an area where I can't defend myself. I got to go. I'd throw a P4 at him. I'd fire that thing up, have the prop spinning.
You got to make sure you turn off obstacle avoidance. That'd be a real shame if you start flying it at them, and it boom, kicks back as soon as you get there.
Exactly, man.
Notice when you're flying and you get close to something and the sensors start going off. I mean, if you get close to something, it just it's pretty violent. It like really kicks back.
Yeah, it really does. It's also super loud. Like, I get it. I'm getting close to an object. Chill. Problem is, have you ever flown it, like, so far, like, and obstacle avoidance kicks in, like, whether a bird triggers it or whatever, and you can hear it, like, in a distance? I tell you, I was flying around an island, and it did that, and I guess I was closer to a tree than I thought I was, and man, that scared me. But I can hear it in a distance. I can hear it, like, ding, 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 ding. So it's pretty loud and annoying. Oh, dude, crazy loud. So, did you stream yesterday, or were you off?
No, I was not home, so I didn't stream.
Okay, man.
I streamed like the last 4 weeks in a row. It kind of felt good to have a little break, just because live streaming by yourself, it's tough. I always say that all the time, but like,
there's a lot of prep work.
I can see why you brought my sorry ass onto this show, helping you out,
bro. It's you know what it is, to have somebody to talk to. It makes the time go by. Not only does it make the time go by, you know, you can feed off one another's energy. When it's just you,
no, I totally agree.
Like, I guess it works for people that are like gaming, because like you're doing something and like you're still interacting with other people. So I think that's why so many people, like, you know, when you think about it, so many people watch like Ninja, because like he's entertaining to watch, whether you know what's going on or not. Like, it's sort of entertaining.
Exactly. And the thing is the only time that they really have to talk, if you're like playing video games, is when you know, let's say it's like in between matches. Then you talk. But when you're playing, you don't really have to talk.
No, and they're talking, like, a lot of times they're talking to somebody else on the other end.
Exactly.
Like
So they don't
you
have
know,
to do
it's
anything.
crazy.
Just fire up the stream.
That's it, and they can get away with like anything, man. Like, they seriously, they're pulling in some stupid money for YouTube and Twitch. So
yeah,
it's almost like no holds barred. So one of the topics I wanted to discuss tonight, sort of in the drone world, was the colors of drones. Like, you know, DJI has recently just sort of started, you know, I guess for lack of better words, experimenting with colors. Like, we had the Spark, which came in a whole bunch of fun colors. But, you know, is there a color that somebody would want to see more so than another? Like, what's your ideal color?
The end of the day, so for the Spark, what color did you get? You got white, right?
No, so initially I bought a white Spark, and then I didn't keep it very long, and then my second Spark, I bought a lime Spark.
Okay.
I think I just wanted something different other than white, you know?
No, I agree. In fact, it's funny because I just ordered some D-brand skins, and I was just going to go matte black, simple. But I went with the camo this time, just to kind of like switch it up.
I like the camo. Did you go like? Did you get the digital camo?
Yeah, it's the black camo, and on the website it looks like a lot, but if you look at it in person through people's pictures and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to be like too much. Like, it's very subtle, which I like. Other than that, I try to stick with like the primary, like just clean gray, black, white, silver colors across all of my devices. I mean, I'm looking at my desk right now, and I can't spot a single thing that's like a different color than that. And sometimes it does make it tough, but I think, in my opinion, for drones, like for a Spark, being able to choose between these different colors, I guess they had the 4 colors, it's like perfect because it's a fun drone. You know, it probably attracts people that aren't necessarily professionals. And it's people that, you know, can kind of customize with their Spark. And the cool thing I like about the Tello is that you can switch the top, you can switch the colors, which I don't have any of the other colors. I never really switched, but I think that if they implemented that into the Spark, it'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah, see, that's like my thought is, like, I really like the black. Like, I like Obsidian. Like, that's really what I wanted, was the Obsidian when I first you know, looked at the drone. I just hate how we don't see the Obsidian until it's too late. Like, does that make sense? You know, like, it's like it sort of sucks.
For Pro 2.0 Obsidian in like 2 months from now, I'm sure people will be pretty pissed off, especially those that bought the 2.0.
Yeah, and you know, with that, whatever that prototype or that custom drone that we keep seeing with the removable lenses, you know, even that color, like that sort of silver, that, like, I don't know, that pewter color would be pretty dope. Yeah. I would buy that.
I want to look here in the chat. Cardoso says anything but white. Yeah, you know, I think white's pretty tough to see in the sky. I don't know why they went with white. Probably looks the cleanest. But people always say, like, they have this debate between black and white. They say, like, a black drone is going to like suck in more heat. Like, it's going to attract more heat. But I don't think, like,
I don't know about that. I don't know, because if you think about it, the drone is moving, so it's cooling. You know, it's cooling itself. Like, if it's sitting in one spot, I don't know. I don't know. I think the internals get hot on its own. I mean,
exactly. The battery's going to get hot, all that stuff. The motors sometimes I feel are hot, and I don't think that there's any change unless I saw someone fly up like a Phantom 4 Pro and a Phantom 4 Pro Obsidian next to each other up to like 100 feet and let them fly for 20 minutes, bring them down and do like a heat reading on them. I know they have like some of those guns or whatever that you can use to heat.
Yeah, the flares.
That it makes I'm going to say that it makes no difference whatsoever. And if any, like very, very minimal. So
yeah, I'm gonna probably agree with that. I think a skin is a good way to go. I've never personally tried a skin, but like, I've come to the conclusion that trying to sell the Phantom 4 is the Advanced is just not gonna happen, and I can't stomach letting it go for less than like, I don't know, $900. I think is still a steal with 2 batteries at that point. So
yeah, but if
I'm just gonna hang on to it.
I mean, people offering you like $600, not worth it.
I'm not gonna do that. If any, I will troll them. I will absolutely troll them all day. Like I told the guy today, yeah, I'll meet you. Never met him because when you're offering me $500 and you're pissing me off, like and you're telling me you're a serious buyer, yeah, I'm gonna absolutely tell you I'm gonna meet you in the depths of wherever, and I'm not gonna show up. So I hope he's watching the show tonight.
That'd be too funny.
That would be just make
Media
my
said
day.
that Autel nailed it with orange. I don't know how I feel.
It's very construction worker-like.
I know, right? Like, okay,
industrial.
Yeah, from a functionality standpoint, yes, it's going to be easier to see in the sky, but I feel like black does the job also. And like, if I've got an orange drone, it matches nothing that I have.
Yeah, see, like, I'm very like color coordinated with stuff, and
yeah,
I mean, the problem is though, even with it being orange, or like some of them are red, they're still really hard to see, like when they're far, like when they're at a distance, or at and they're small, so they're just hard to see, I think, in general. But I don't know.
Something I wanted to go over about the skins is like, if you've got a Mavic Pro or a Spark, or like maybe even a Mavic Air, those are going to be easy to wrap in skins, especially the Mavic Pro. I feel like the Mavic Pro doesn't have many curves.
Looks amazing.
It doesn't have many curves. It's all like very straight lines, very like cut. I like the design of it. I'm not saying that's like not curvy, not nice. But if you buy one for like the Phantom 4 Pro or any of the Phantom drones, it's gonna look terrible. I just wouldn't even recommend buying them.
It's like, my thing is like with the Phantom 4s, like if you do it, like you have to heat those skins up to get them on, and I would be afraid that the heat would cause damage to get around the curves. Like you're supposed to use a heat gun to get them on there. Yes. So my thing would be like, I'd be afraid. I sort of want to do it, but I know a guy who actually he does dips, like custom, like electro dips.
That would be cool.
And he's he actually he's got a Twitter, or not a Twitter, he's got an Instagram, and he did a bunch of dips when the X Stars first came out. He was taking apart the shells and doing like crazy electro dips, and they just look like, I mean, it's totally gonna like void your warranty. But he did a bunch of dips for Autel specifically for the police. Like he did a couple events for charity.
That's cool,
dude. And these drones looked so amazing. Like in these Plazzy dips, like they just look so amazing, and it's like super like safe, and like they don't scratch. Like I guess if my Phantom got to a point where it was out of warranty, which I got till October before it is, I would consider like paying somebody to dismantle it and go Obsidian with it.
Yeah, dude. I wonder how much that thing would cost, because if you look at something now, this is different. The AirPods, right? If you want to slick wraps or not slick wraps, colorware. Yeah, you can order like,
it's expensive
dipped
though.
AirPods. Yeah, like they're like
$300. Yeah,
$350.
Exactly.
And but again, I understand like it's small, so it's going to be tough. But I don't know. I don't think
you can actually send your pair in, and they will send you a pair that's already done.
Yeah.
They were doing the same thing with the MacBooks for a while. Like my favorite color was lime green, and I'm like, I want a lime green MacBook, and you can send it in. It was like $600. You can send yours in. They would do it, or they would ship you one that was already ready to go.
Wow. So I don't know if you ever if you ever saw MKBHD's video from Colorware. I guess they sponsored a video or whatever.
They did a MacBook for him.
A MacBook Pro, fully black and red, and
they had the logo cut out, and it was lit. Yeah,
so cool.
I missed that. I missed that logo.
Yeah,
I like the light up RGB.
Me too. and I understand it's definitely thinner. Like I'm looking at my MacBook Pro right now. Of course, like it's thinner. But I feel like the light on the back was cool. Like it was like a staple.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't really like the stainless steel. I think it's just sort of like, I mean, it's okay. It's subtle, but like everything on my desk like sort of lights up. That would have been just one more thing that you can just sort of put in there.
Like scratch is pretty easy too.
You know, I always put mine in a bag.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got my iPad Pro, and I'm kind of rough with this thing, and I know that the logo is scratched up a little bit, but really quickly, just so we're not getting off, or just to go back to the topic, we're talking about slick wraps. I'm gonna put that link into the chat. You guys can go check out like the ones I was just talking about, Phantom 4 wraps. If you notice, it only covers like the top part of it. I just think it looks terrible.
It depends on what color you go with on slick wraps. So like I'm preferential to like that digital camo color they have, like it's the white and gray. I think if you went with something that was white and gray, it would look decent. Like you can pull it off decently, but you would only be able to use like the battery wrap and maybe the top portion. But even still, I would even just be okay with just like if they had a sticker kit to where you can change out the DJI stickers to just camo. I would be okay with that.
What do you? I mean, would you go slick wraps or D-brand?
I use slick wraps. So my MacBook is a slick wraps with the flash on it.
I saw that. I've seen it in a couple of videos.
And it was just so easy to install. It works perfect. Like there's a whole slick wraps D-brand war, and like D-brand has some crazy marketing. And I've actually worked with slick wraps before. They're one of those brands. They will work with the smaller YouTubers, like
that's cool.
You know, and they'll send you stuff, and like their products are quality. It's the same shit. It's all 3M.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all 3M. So one's not better than the other. I think slick wraps has a better variety.
D-brand's whole thing about their marketing is different. I don't know if you guys
it's a guerrilla marketing, man. It's really like a guerrilla marketing they use.
Yeah, if anyone follows their Twitter, you know what I mean. Even their Instagram. We got off topic there. So
we got off on a little tangent. Yeah, colors. So
for drones, something like the Spark, something like the Mavic Air, more consumerish level drones. I can see why they use these different colors. Yeah, more fun colors. And the Mavic Air, not so much. They had the black, the white, and the flame red was kind of cool. I'm not a fan of the flame red in my opinion.
No,
just because
I'm not either.
Like the matte color looks pretty cool, whereas the red was glossy. I think at the end of the day, and I said this in my Phantom 5 wishlist video, I'd love to see 3 different color schemes for the next Phantom. It would be something like the Obsidian right now, sort of like an ashish gray color, a black Phantom 4 or a black Phantom 5, black drone, I guess, kind of like what the Mavic Air is, that black. Or the black on the Phantom 4 that was sold by Best Buy. You ever see that?
But they have to release them all at the same time. Like you can't like my problem with DJI right now is that like okay, you're releasing this drone here and then you're releasing that drone there. Like just please release them. If you're gonna come out with additional colors, like I'll buy it. I'll probably be more susceptible to buy like a black drone than if you say okay, I'm gonna launch this and here you go. It's a white drone. Please don't do that. Please.
Yeah, I would love to see 3 colors: the white, the black, and the Obsidian color they have right now launched at release. And it's like annoying for them to come out with like an Obsidian version and they call it the Obsidian, and you say, "Oh, what's new? What's changed?" when it's literally just the color. It's like I don't know. It's like a real kick in the face. And maybe their goal was to put OcuSync into the Phantom drone. And I wish that when they came out with like the Phantom 4 Pro, something like that, they'll be like, yeah, we're working on an OcuSync model too. If you guys want to wait for OcuSync, this is going to be coming in the next month or two, whatever. I mean, I just wish that rather than these like really absurd release cycles and really like just minor changes, I wish it'd kind of streamline it, sort of like Apple has. I mean, we can know what to expect from Apple. We know we're going to see a new phone every year around the same time. The release date obviously changes a little bit here and there. But I would love to see like a streamlined release date, like maybe just like Apple does, because I know they like to follow Apple, have like a Phantom 4 come out, the Phantom 4, and then 1 year later come out with an updated version of the Phantom 4, very small, and then come out the Phantom 5 2 years after that release date. I just think that'd be the best way to do it. doesn't really piss off anybody.
Yeah, because we're at, what are we at? 2 years on the Phantom 4 cycle right now. Is it 2 years? And then they just released the 2.0. Yeah. So you're squeezing 3 years essentially. I don't know. I think the thing too is like when you think about it, it's like we're dealing with something that like it's not something that anybody needs. Like you don't need a drone. You don't need a drone. It's nice to have a drone. So I guess the release cycles could be a little bit different in the way they're geared. But even still, I don't know. I just feel like just give us your best shot like right up front. And if you want to, release like additional colors, just give us a little heads up. I guess as of now, it's like you have to expect that there's going to be additional colors. I just think it's just bad. So that's on the colors. Something that we don't really do very often is talk about like sort of like tips and tricks or things that we're doing as we're taking up flying. I know, being here in Florida, like I'm obviously surrounded by water on any side that I go, but I've always find myself flying over water, good, bad, or indifferent. Most of the scenery that I fly over is over water. So, do you have any tips or any precautions that you take when you are flying over water?
No, it's like any other time. I don't know. In fact, I kind of like flying over water a little bit more. I think it's more fun. I feel like you're not disturbing anyone because obviously there's really nobody out on the water, and there's a lot of cool things you can do with the water. So sometimes there's like a boat. You can kind of follow the boat around if obviously maybe you know the people. You don't just want to follow a random boat. But, you can get those low shots along the water. Obviously, incorporate water into some sort of scenery you're shooting. So if you've got trees along the coast and you've got the water, incorporating that is cool. But everyone seems to say that they've got like issues or they're scared to fly over water when like in reality there's no difference.
No, I've and that's like, I always like, it's funny, there's 100 videos out on YouTube of like how to fly over water, and like I can make a video and it would be like a minute long, and it's just like step 1 take off, step 2 fly. Like that's literally all I do. I've never had an issue with sensors. I've never had an issue with compass, GPS, nothing. Something interesting that happened yesterday as I was flying. So I was at the beach for one of the scenes that I had in that video, and there was a guy who had a Mavic Air, and there was 2 guys that had Mavic Pros. And
did you fly with them?
I wasn't flying with them. I was like off to the right with mine. But what was hilarious though is that they kept competing with each other's band. Like their bands kept, like the OcuSync kept competing with one another, and then the Mavic Air's wireless signal was getting, I guess, screwed up by OcuSync. And I was totally unfazed. Like mine was totally unfazed whatsoever. And I was close enough to where it could have been an issue, but I was just like, they didn't have any idea what they were doing anyways. They weren't, they obviously had no idea who I was. So they don't know. How do they know what they're doing? Yeah. Kidding, joking, terrible. But I was like, I walked up to him after I was done. It was just because what drew me over was not the drone, was the fact that he was shooting with an A7 III.
Ooh, dude, that's
and I was
cool.
like, hey, what are you shooting? And he's like, and it was just the weirdest thing. They were just doing like a time lapse of the sunset. And I was like, oh, that's not as exciting as the camera looked.
Yeah, for real.
And that's all they were doing with the drones too, was doing time lapses with the drones.
Time lapses with the drones.
Yeah, I'm like, that's really not that exciting.
They never turn out that good. I did a video on how to do time lapses with a drone, and it's just, I mean, you can do it, but it's not going to look as stable.
Yeah, so I was sort of like, you're doing a time lapse with an A7 III. Yes, I'm like,
I wanted to try it out.
Hey, what's up, El Jefe? What's going on, man? How are you? So Lewis asked recommendations for first drone. Never flown one ever. My recommendation, and this may be like taken back by a lot, is try to find yourself like a super cheap P3 standard, like like a used one even, and try to fly that. If you're interested in a quad that takes videos and that's still pretty relevant, get a P3 standard. I think you can find one for about like $300.
You could even find for $100, I guarantee.
There you go. I mean, or even a Spark. Spark is a good drone too. Maybe not for a first drone, because I've seen people complain about it.
And I mean, Spark, when the Spark originally came out, it was $500, right?
Yeah, it was actually it was like $4.99. Actually, the Fly More was $5.99 at first.
I mean, right now you can get a Spark. I'm pretty sure like $350 with a free remote. So I mean,
yeah, that just is a gut check.
I'm seeing Phantom 3. Well, okay, so this is the Phantom 3 standard quadcopter only. So no camera underneath for $140. I see it on eBay right now.
What is that one?
Flying with like it's Phantom 3 standard. It comes with some accessories, a backpack, but it doesn't have the camera on it. So it's like everything that you need but the camera. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
part of like buying a drone, like, or even, I mean, here's what I did. I bought myself like a Parrot Bebop when I first wanted to learn how to fly, because this drone was perfect for me because I can rack it and just basically pick it up off the concrete and fly it again. I mean, eventually I destroyed it. But like once you get like your Phantom 3 or whatever drone you're going to go with, you at least sort of understand how to fly. Typhoon, you know, even if somebody said, "Hey, I have a Typhoon for $200," I wouldn't recommend a Typhoon for a beginner, because I think that's a pretty complicated drone, at least from the control standpoint. I look at like DJI's application, and then I look at Unique's. It's really tough. Or even, here's a better one for you. You want your first drone? Go and buy yourself a Unique Breeze from Walmart. $149. That'll get your foot in the door. I mean,
like
those.
Spark almost.
Yeah, exactly. $149.
It folds.
No.
Right. The Breeze.
The Breeze don't fold. No.
The two little arms. The little arms.
I wish. No, that doesn't. The landing gear folds. It has landing gear underneath. So, and it only has it's got a no, it only has a single axis gimbal, basically. Forwards, backwards,
up and down.
Yeah, up and down. So we're you know, we probably get ripped apart by like people are like, yeah, and this and that, and I'm like, I just call it like whatever, however it moves, forwards,
down,
backwards, right, left.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really specific on all that. But yeah, that would be a cool drone to fly.
I think even if you wanted to go straight into something like, if, let's say you really want like a Phantom 4 Pro, just buying the Phantom 4 Pro straight up first isn't that bad of an idea either.
No, it's not.
My very first was the Phantom 4. I had like no experience other than toy helicopters in my room. But you know, just make sure you take it real slow, beginner mode for the first couple days,
exactly,
and just try not to kill it. You know, you've got sensors on it; it's gonna
and do it in an open field.
Not run anything.
Find an open field, and that sort of brings us like right into the next topic that we want to talk about, is about patience when flying. So a lot of times you'll see these videos and going into, you know, DJI Workshop, and we look at all these videos from some of the people creating and posting. You know, you look at these shots and you're trying to think to yourself, well, how did they get that? I don't get shots like that when I fly. Well, one of the things that is so overlooked when we fly is the fact that you just got to slow down and think about your shot. We're so in a rush when we're out there flying. Yeah. We're looking at our GPS, we're looking at our battery, but we're not looking at the shot that's right in front of us and thinking about, how can I make this look different? And I know Billy's taken some pretty phenomenal angles and just different takes on just different points of interest. But I think slowing down and having patience to line up your shot is so important.
Yeah, and you know, even if you take a shot and so let's say you're taking like a point of interest on anything really, like a tree, right? Let's just say a tree. Take a point of interest of it, it looks cool. Even if you like it, do it again. Do it 3 times, I would say. 3 times, like the perfect balance, I would say. 3 good shots. So for example, you know, when I'm out there flying and I'm doing a movement with my drone or whatever, if I mess up even in the slightest, I totally start over. I'm fortunate enough to have 3 batteries, so you know, if I need to, I can swap it out. Sometimes it's a little bit tough if you only have like 1 battery and you're trying to get as much footage as possible, but I would always recommend just doing it until you get it right. Maybe do it 3 times again, because when you're editing, sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I was flying a little bit faster, and you have these 3 different clips you can then choose from to see which one moves the fastest and which one's going to fit in your edit perfectly.
Yeah, and to that point, I think if I can recommend anything for patients, it's definitely to buy yourself at least a second battery. I know it's sort of a gut check when you first, you spend like $1,100, and one thing that hasn't dropped in price is the batteries for the Phantoms. And I know it's really tempting to go on Amazon and buy that $99 battery for your Phantom 4, but don't do it. Don't do it. It's not the same quality. And another thing to keep in mind is that these batteries have software and firmware updates, and they and like, I know there's a lot of people that will argue that they're totally safe and this, that, and the other thing, but I've seen too many horror stories where a bird has fell out of the air because the batteries just dropped the cell or whatever it may be. So definitely stay away from third-party batteries. Just totally stay OEM.
Even mess with it.
No,
you pay you're saving like what, 30, 40 bucks sometimes.
It's really minuscule in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it really is not worth it.
Not only that, you prolong the life of your batteries. If you have more than one, you're not always charging it, you're not always using it. And another thing that I'll do is, like, if I switch locations, like yesterday I switched locations, I don't take back off with the battery I used previous flight. I always start with the fully charged battery, even though my other battery had, like, let's say 70 or 60% left, and I could have probably squeezed a full flight out of it. I always start with the fresh battery. I never take off low.
If you have to, you can go back to that battery if you really need to.
Yeah, you can. Somebody said DJI was weird about that, but I know when I wrecked mine, I actually did that. I left one location, came to another, and my battery was at, like, I don't know, I think it was like 80%. And they didn't say anything to me, so I don't know how true that actually is. Let's see, what do we got here?
I think the perfect number of batteries is 3. I don't think
three's a good rotation. What are you charging your batteries with?
So I've got the charging hubs for all of them. Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, so that's the only thing I don't use that's not official, is I have the Power Extra battery charger. It's a blue unit, and it's you know what I'm talking about?
That's the one thing. Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's the one thing you can buy third party and really get away with it, is like a charger or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think so what really prompted me to buy one was I was charging my batteries with the official, and it was getting, like, stupid hot, like crazy hot to the, it was getting really hot to the touch, and it was humming. And then I was reading in forums, and other people were saying that was pretty normal, like it was the capacitors, and I'm like, I don't know. And now I just use it when I travel.
Is this for which drone?
The Phantom 4.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the charging hub for pretty much each one of my drones, and whenever I get home, I just throw them all on the charger, wait till they're all topped up, and then I'll throw them in my bag. And usually they're pretty good, although, like, having these 4 drones in rotation, sometimes with, like, the MacBook Pro, my batteries are totally drained, so I gotta fill them up, or not totally drained, but they discharge over time, so I gotta fill them back up. The one thing I love, one sec, I'm gonna grab it. It's right here.
Yeah, go ahead. So while he's grabbing that, Josh, the Power Extra one is it's really nice. I like how it has a built-in fan. So even as it's charging 3 batteries, and you're not supposed to, but I'll charge my controller with it as well. If I touch the unit, it's quiet. It's just loud because the fan's just, like, going crazy. But I love the fact that there's a built-in fan on that charger, because I know it's safe. I know it's not getting overheated, and it's not going to overheat or damage my batteries. And it shuts off. I keep it on a switch, so I just shut the switch off. I try to keep everything as safe as possible when applicable. What'd you grab, Billy? You grabbed the charging hub?
Yeah, so I would say my favorite accessory for any drone ever is this thing.
Right here. That's dope. What is that, man? Is that the Energizer?
The Spark charging station. The Spark charging station.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
DJI, and, like, this thing will hold your Spark. It holds 2 so if I open up the top, it holds 2 batteries on the sides here.
Nice.
And then you can, like, click this button down here, check out the charging status, check out
that's pretty sweet.
You have. It's got some ports down here where you can kind of, like, put power in, you can put power out, you can plug in a USB, and then one for firmware upgrades, which they include on all their, like, hubs, all their charging hubs, but I've never seen a firmware update for any of their charging hubs. So I know that they couldn't do anything like this for, like, any of the other drones just because of their size. Maybe they could have gotten away with it with the Mavic Air.
I think even the Mavic Air, they could definitely get away with that. I mean, and the Mavic Air is still a solid drone. I ended up getting rid of my Spark finally just because I never flew it that much. And it's like, it's 1080p, and the problem is, like, I can't go up. I can't really do much with it. And when you upscale the footage, it's just, I don't know. And it seems like with every update, they're just getting further and further away from killing off OTG. And it just finally, I think my cable stopped working. I don't know if it's possible for them to go bad, but it stopped working. So I just said screw it and got rid of it.
Luke asks, what is the easiest DJI drone you've flown? They're all easy.
They're all super easy.
Yeah, like I can't, like, one's not easier than the other. Like, maybe the Spark, just because there's like nothing. You turn it on, you go. There's really nothing else you have to do. But like the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Air, you got to unfold. The Phantom 4 Pro requires a little bit of setup. Like, you got to put the blades on. And I mean, so I've been kind of teasing this, but I'm looking to get an Inspire 2 within the next month. And even though that's kind of complicated, it still seems like it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Yeah,
I would think so, because it's a GPS drone. I mean, it should hold its position the same as, let's say, a Phantom 4 Pro. But yeah, I wouldn't think that would give you much trouble at all in flying. But that's going to be such a great craft to fly.
Yeah, I'm
pretty stoked.
I'm trying to make it happen before I come down to see you. So
yeah, dude, that would be so awesome. I'm trying to find places that are like abandoned or like some points of interest that I can fly around. Like, I've been searching around the state, like trying to find places that are just interesting. Like, there is an abandoned power plant. Like, they shut it down. I don't know if you're allowed to fly over it yet, because I don't know if the reactor is actually fully disabled. But that would be pretty awesome. I mean, there's another place, an island, that I want to fly around. It's got a lighthouse on the island, but you can't take off from it because it's a state park. But if we had another island or a boat that's not moving, we can take off from that.
The thing is, with an abandoned with abandoned buildings, I don't really care about the trespassing. Like, it's something that gets me out of trouble. I've like, people have stopped me before when I'm flying my drone if they get mad, whatever. I'll usually just tell them I'm a film student from St. Joe's, and they're like, "Oh, okay, just leave." And like, that's cool. I never really get in like much trouble. But I don't know. Like, as far as trespassing goes, with these abandoned places, I just do it.
I've never, knock on wood, I've never had anybody walk up to me, and say, "Hey, you're trespassing," or "Hey, you can't fly here." I had a lady confront me on the beach and told me I ruined her experience. And she's like, "I was doing yoga, it was peaceful, and I was buzzing around in the Spark, and like, you can't even hear the Spark like over the crashing of the waves."
For real.
Like,
the Spark is so quiet.
I was just like, whatever, lady. If I wasn't in my work uniform, like if I didn't have my work badge on and stuff, I probably would have lit her up. But I was like, I need to just walk away gracefully. I'm having a problem with doing that lately. But
what's up with the shaved head? Just getting hot.
You know what it was, man? Like, so I don't know if you ever had this experience. You go to a barber and like they cut your hair and they take your line back too far. And then, like, I was doing the comb over part for a while, but like they took it back too far, and what happens is it starts growing here, and there's no way like to just let the front portion where they took the line back too far grow. And then not only that, they took it up too high on the side. So because they took it up too high on the side, like there's also no way to let it grow out with it looking good. So I was just like, screw it, just shave it. Just shave it off.
Yeah.
And it's easier anyways in the morning, just waking up and just walking out of the house. Don't have to do no hair.
Nice, I know.
It's just like, it's whatever. So I was like, yeah, take it all the way off. I wasn't going to do it, but it gets hot in Florida, even though I'm never working outside. Yeah. I did get sunburned on Friday. I don't know how, but
were you wearing sunscreen?
No, I never put sunscreen on, ever. Never.
You told me to wear sunscreen. You said
you need to. You need to. I'm going to... I need to.
I'm just getting the base tan down, all right?
Dude, you know what though? You got to get the base tan down, because if you come to Florida and you don't wear sunscreen, you're just gonna get straight up burnt. You're gonna get straight up burnt. It's gonna happen.
We'll make a time lapse with the A7S or the A7 III of my sunburn just coming on.
Did you get a new camera yet?
No. I was making a joke with the dudes that were making the time lapse.
Oh yeah. I thought I got excited for a second. I thought you were getting the A7.
I wish. I'm still banging with the G7 right now.
He said you're hiding your gray hair, really.
Man, I'd boot him right now.
I'll let it go. I do. It was funny. I was sitting there watching them cut the hair, and I'm like, oh, there's a gray. There's a gray. It happens, man. It happens. You just can't prevent it at all.
The good thing about my genes, I guess, is that they don't lose hair. I don't have anybody in my family that's bald.
Same here. I don't have anybody in my family that's bald. I'll take grays over bald. Knock on wood.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
At least I got something up there.
What was the other thing? So I want to talk about colors. I want to talk about tips, tricks, flying over water, which we did. Next week, or is it tomorrow? Are you on Bill's show tomorrow?
No, it's next week.
The following week, you're on Bill the Drone Reviewer show.
Not tomorrow. It'll be a week from tomorrow.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting to see. I'll have to stick around, check out. I'm not traveling as much this month. I don't travel till actually the end of the month, so we'll hopefully we'll be able to move the show, or at least maybe you'll be able to stream it. We'll figure something out to where we can.
Next week?
No, when I'm traveling that Monday, so we don't have to, because what we found is trying to do this from the hotel is not going to happen. And it's not because we don't have computers that can't handle it. It's the fact that the hotel's Wi-Fi can't handle it. But oddly enough, Starbucks, they have 100 megabits up.
Really?
Dude, it's crazy.
They probably upgraded their Wi-Fi after that whole racist scandal that happened.
Dude, it's just crazy. I should just probably sit at the Starbucks. That would be awkward, but sit at Starbucks and just stream. Keep ordering coffees. And I'd be just jacked up. It would be the most jacked up stream you've ever seen.
Sir, can I throw away your trash?
But so no news on any front of any other releases. I haven't seen any news for any drones in a while.
I'm gonna give you guys a quick tidbit. Parrot has got an event next week in New York that I'm going to on the 6th. So
did you sign up for that, or you got invited?
Yeah, they sent me an email, so that's on the 6th. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything, but
well, you just did. You just sort of did, dude. You saw the Bebop Pro that they released, right?
I didn't see it. No.
You saw they have this Bebop Pro. It's got the FLIR Duo camera on it, the heat sensing camera and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm almost certain that the event probably won't be that, since this Bebop Pro is more in the lines for first responders. But how funny would it be if Parrot launches a new drone next week that is like a direct competitor of the Mavic with just ballin' specs, and I know it's Parrot, and people are gonna be like, it's Parrot, but they're actually, they know their shit in the drone world. I mean, they sort of pioneered all this. But wouldn't it be just the funniest thing if they did all this before Autel even could release the Evo?
Dude, it'd be so. I'd laugh my ass
off. I would probably piss my pants laughing. And I've got a pre-order in, and I've toyed around with canceling it, just because I'm annoyed. I'm just annoyed, and
I saw that drone 5 months ago.
I know, and it's
January,
and here we are. What is it? June
and
5/28.
Even me reaching out to them wasn't enough. I offered to come out and check it out.
They're not even entertaining anything from anybody. And what I don't get is the 45 part series from Kluge.
I think it might be Kluge, but
Kluge. What name is that? Please rename your channel.
I think it's supposed to mean something, but yeah,
I don't know.
He got some hands-on time with it, which I don't know how he did, but
it makes no sense. And then I saw there was somebody tweeted me a comparison video between
side thing.
Yeah, and it was a Mavic Pro and the Evo flying, and they were like 4 feet off the ground. They're comparing it. I'm like, and I watched it. It was like 9 minutes long, and it was the biggest waste of a comparison video.
Yeah, I don't understand it, dude. I don't understand why people are not taking this seriously when they can actually get their hands on the freaking drone.
I mean, it's just I don't understand. You had it flying next to a Mavic, and obviously that's its direct competitor right now. I got into an argument with the guy in my comment section because he wanted to argue about the fact that it was going to ship with the 1-inch sensor, and that I didn't do my research, I didn't do my homework. That we are going to the reason why we're seeing this delay is because it's shipping with a 1-inch sensor. If it was shipping with a 1-inch sensor, they would have said 1-inch sensor, and everybody and their mother would be like, yes, 1-inch sensor, because everybody wants a 1-inch sensor. Like everybody and their mother. You know, I've heard 1-inch sensor. My aunt, who doesn't even fly drones, she wants a 1-inch sensor. She doesn't even know what a 1-inch sensor does, but she wants one. She doesn't know what it does. She just heard it. I'm just like, what? Like, you know?
So they toyed around with like the regular micro 2/3 sensor, which is what is releasing. They toyed around with the 1-inch sensor, and they also toyed around with the 360 camera too, which at CES they had like the prototypes there, but like the 1-inch sensor camera and the 360 camera were like, so if you picked up one with the micro 2/3, you could tell that it was suspended by the gimbal, and if you like moved it around, it was like had some tension. You know, it wasn't
right, because it's an actual real deal.
Yeah, the 360 camera and the 1-inch sensor camera were literally like hanging on by a thread, and it was like a pendulum. You could bring it back and forth. So
yeah, you know what's funny? I didn't even remember seeing anything from Parrot at CES or NAB actually.
No, yeah, neither did I.
But I want to applaud them for that, because that is how you do it. If you don't have anything that's ready to go, don't bring it. Don't say anything, because people are going to want something, and they're going to hold you accountable for that the minute you show something. That's like Apple having an event and saying, oh yeah, we're going to launch the... Well, actually, no, let me take that back. They did tease a Mac Pro refresh that we didn't get this year. They did tease a Mac Pro refresh, and we didn't see that this year. They're saying, Billy, your mic is low.
Yeah, I'm moving a little bit closer to myself. I told him I'll start yelling. I won't yell. Don't worry.
I bumped your gain a bit there. Sweet. So maybe that'll help. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm really, really freaking annoyed. So Joe Mariana says, do you think Autel is holding off until they make sure there are no issues with the app?
I've got no idea.
I don't know. It's tough to say. Like, I don't think it boils down to application at this point. I really don't think it's application, because software is pretty straightforward to fix. Application's pretty easy to fix as far as code goes. But I think what it boils down to, and I think Bill said this best, is hardware stability. You know, and he's pretty hellbent on believing it's hardware stability. And I've seen a few videos, and it's sort of it can go both ways. But I don't know. If it doesn't launch by the 5th, I mean, I'm just going to leave my pre-order out there. I'll leave my pre-order, because I got nothing to lose with the money out there. Yeah,
and plus you put it in pretty early, so you'll get it pretty early too.
And if it sucks, if it totally sucks, I'll just see if Carolina will let me exchange it for something else. I may just use the money, something else. What do you say? Joe said your audio is better. Or it could be the lawsuit that's going on.
Yeah. They're holding off because of they want the cash from DJI, but I don't think that they would hold off for that.
No, because they would be waiting forever. Lawsuits like that take time. That lawsuit is them trying to protect their product that they're about to launch. Because if they're launching it and they're using, let's say, the claim that the point of interest software that they use is proprietary, or if they're using the claim of the lawsuit to say, well, these quick release props that we created, you are basically infringing on our patents. I mean, that could potentially, I guess, sort of put any pause to the Mavic Pro 2, but I really doubt it, because DJI is probably one of those companies I'd be like, you know what, screw it, we're launching it, we're infringing on your patent, but we're going to launch it anyhow because we have enough money. We have FU money, so we're just going to pay you, and we're just going to make you go away.
I didn't even know that the quick release props were...
Dude, they were identical. They were identical. Really? So one of the things that I did, and I wasn't supposed to do it, was I took one of the props off, and they were like, oh, no, hey, don't do that. I'm like, why don't you take a prop off? I'm like, I want to take that. I just want to see it. And I was like, I'm like, man, this is really familiar. It's just you press down, you turn. I'm like, this is just like my Spark. No comment.
It's funny.
It was just crickets.
It's funny because I took off the prop on the Evo, and they were pretty okay with it. Because what I said is, I said, can I turn this thing on? I want to see like the gimbal start up, all that stuff. Sure. And they said, as long as you take the props off. I guess they didn't want me like flying it or something. I got no idea.
I don't know. He was weird. Oddly weirded out that I took the prop off. I don't know
What are you
why.
doing?
Yeah, I'm like, I just wanted to see how it comes off. I just was comparing it. I mean, from a note standpoint, it was very much just like a Spark. But I'm excited to see what Parrot brings to the table, though. That's really awesome. When is that event again?
8 days from now, it's on the 6th. So it's
Okay, so it's right after. Oh, that's sort of interesting. Right after WWDC.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited,
for WWDC.
man. I'm really hoping. Here's my wish list for WWDC. Just fix the freaking bugs and just refine the interface. Just give us the little things that we've been asking for. I don't want anything groundbreaking. Just give us the little tiny things that we've been asking for.
And also maybe deliver on some of the features that were released at last WWDC.
I want iCloud message.
Yeah, that would be cool. iCloud message and also AirPlay 2. I know that my roommate's got a Sonos and a HomePod, and he wants to link them both up. And I want to buy a HomePod, but I'm not gonna buy a HomePod until it's worth it.
See, I'm a Spotify user, and you can't even stream Spotify to that. And I use Google.
True.
See, I use Echo, and I use Google Home in my house. So it's like I'm sort of tied there because like all my home automation sort of surrounds around that, and it works really well. I mean, I get that Apple made it really secure, and I know we're like talking about stuff that's not drone related, but that's okay too. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I just want to see refinements because I've really, really, really considered jumping off the Apple ship here as of late.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah, dude.
Like,
And
I'm sort of positioning myself to do it.
A little bit off the topic of software, I've heard there might be some new hardware too. Some upgraded MacBook Pros. So that'd be cool.
See, I want a MacBook Pro. Like I'm like torn. Like I like the Razer Blade Stealth. I like that, and that would be a pretty badass freaking laptop. Just from a standpoint, as it sort of has the aesthetics of a MacBook Pro, but runs Windows, has a great processor, upgradable hard drive if you need to expand the hard drive. Can't do anything about the RAM. It's soldered at 16 gigs, which is okay because I don't think you'd need anything more than that. But that is pretty efficient. But I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I'll get a GPU. That'll help me out, like the external GPU. Here's the funny thing. If you use Final Cut Pro does not rely on the GPU at all.
Oh, so like the actual software doesn't use the GPU.
Doesn't use the GPU to actually render and do anything. That's why you can scrub. It's using the processor. So with Final Cut Pro, it's better if you have a better processor.
Okay.
So I mean, it's great that there's graphics there.
I stepped up from the i5 on my old laptop to the i7, and I do notice that it's quicker.
I mean, but it's that background render that it does with 4K footage is why, like, when I would try to edit 4K footage with Premiere, it was always choppy. Like, it would just, like, chop, because but never had that issue. Even on my Mac, my Mac Mini with the i5, and this was the lowest end Mac Mini, never had an issue with choppy footage from the drone. So, I mean, that's sort of the reason why I keep editing with Final Cut. I go back and forth with it.
When did you buy the Mac Mini?
Oh Jesus!
You like it? Like, I mean, I haven't really heard much about it.
I still have it. I mean, I just basically. So what I did was I bought the Mac Mini. I had a MacBook Air for a long time, and that was my editing machine. I would edit with the MacBook Air because I was traveling. It was only 1080p, and it was fine. Then I stepped up into doing drone footage like 3 years ago, and I'm like, crap. I'm like, I need another machine, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of money. And at the time, I got a Mac Mini for $497 from Best Buy with a student discount.
Oh.
That was a steal. It was a steal.
Yeah.
And it could handle it, but the first thing I had to do was put a SSD in it. At least that was upgradable.
Yeah.
The hard drive was unbearable. Yeah, it was unbearable. But the thing is rock solid. It's quiet. You never hear it, and it just works. It is a little workhorse.
I need to.
It's just a great machine. Now I just use it to stream movies from. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
So wait, here's something a little bit off topic. Same thing with laptops and stuff though, or Mac, I guess. How do you install OS X, like a Hackintosh basically? How do you install OS X onto a different hard drive?
How do you install it to a different hard drive? Well, you would have to run a bootloader like Clover bootloader. Tony Mac 86. I did a Hackintosh. Matter of fact, it's sitting right there under. There's like a box full of computer crap, and there was a machine I had, and all the specs matched up to what a Mac would use. The hard drive, or not the hard drive, the motherboard, the processor, the graphics card, everything matched up to what Mac OS could use. But I mean, it's not hard to build a Hackintosh. You just gotta follow one of those guides, and you can install it. Yeah. It's just the problem is like trying to make it stable, get it to the point where everything's good to go.
Yeah, so I remember I was watching some videos on the iMac Pro, and someone was like, oh, just like custom build your own PC, add an extra SSD, like load OS X on, boom, there you go.
You could do that. Like Snazzy Labs, he made a Hackintosh, which I thought was pretty cool. You can do that now.
That's funny.
And it works perfect. Dom Mac Mixon, he's another one. He was always forever doing Hackintosh builds. There's a lot of people that they swear by Hackintosh. But if Apple introduces hardware with their own proprietary processors this year, we're not going to. Hackintosh is dead, I think.
Yep.
I think Hackintosh will be dead.
I think we'll probably see those processors first in mobile devices. You think?
I think they would show them off in the Mac just because it's not something so widespread, and it would show the capability of what it could actually do. It would make sense. True. Like let's put our processor in our computer.
Wait, they already use their processors in their phone. I'm dumb.
Well, yeah, they're using the A10. They're using the and they have the A10. Do they have an A10 in the MacBook? No, they have it's the Core M's, the Intel Core M5 and whatever. So Joe says I checked your videos, and they say the gimbal is misaligned, but after checking, it wasn't misaligned. Still starts up, and the gimbal goes berserk, and the gimbal is hot to the touch. Okay, so what drone is this, Joe? Bought a Phantom 3 Standard. Okay, I see what it says. Bought a Phantom 3 Standard. So here's what I found when I was calibrating. At least this worked on the Phantom 4 Pro. Is I had the same issue where my gimbal would go berserk, and it was just like all over the place. It couldn't find the horizon. And somebody's like, calibrate your gimbal with the camera facing straight up in the air, like basically on its back, facing like or tilted anyways. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's no way that's going to calibrate the gimbal. If I lean the drone back and hit calibrate, and sure enough, it calibrated the gimbal, and it was able to find horizon, and it was no longer misaligned. Dude, it was the weirdest thing, but I found it in a forum, and it worked. So
I've got a little twitch on my Phantom 4 Pro gimbal, which is really upsetting me. I mean, it's fine for like flying around taking pictures, but it's like if you're flying and you're trying to get a shot, it'll
Did
just
you send it back?
I still haven't sent it back yet. See, that's the thing.
Dude,
is like
you gotta send that back, man. You got DJI Care Refresh on that thing.
I take photos of my dad's job every like 2 weeks, and I'm afraid if I send it back that I'm gonna get too far behind on taking photos of his jobs for him. So that's another reason why I want to get the Inspire 2, so I can send this thing back.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
You don't use the You won't use the Mavic for the photos?
No, because for his website, everything looks the same, looks nice with the Phantom 4 Pro, and then I go and I throw like a Mavic Pro photo on there, and I'm just like, doesn't look the same.
Yeah, I can understand the consistency aspect. Yeah, and that was sort of like the thing too. Like, you know, I sort of paused with selling the Phantom 4 was the fact that the photos and the videos just look so great. It's 4K,
Incredible.
60 frames per second, and just like
Incredible.
that 20-inch 1-inch sensor is just, or 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor is still phenomenal. So like when I say it's future proof, I still believe that even if other drones come out tomorrow, I don't think they'll be able to compare to the Pro as far as price goes and like the quality. You're not going to find a better drone, and obviously that's apparent with the V2 launch, and DJI is acknowledging the fact that, hey, this is still a top dog, top contender. So I mean, if anything good came of that launch, it was just a reassurance that if you own a Phantom 4 Pro, you're still going to have a solid drone for at least another year and a half before anybody comes out with anything crazy.
Like if you went out and bought a Phantom 4 Pro right now, you wouldn't be stupid at all. That drone is still gonna be good for you.
No, not at all, not at all. And that's why somebody was asking me yesterday. They're like, oh, if I could buy, a Phantom 4 today, would that be a good buy? I'm like, yeah, if you can get it for like, I don't know, $1,100-$1,200 new, do it.
Yep.
Do it. I would not even hesitate if somebody's like, yeah, I've got a new one.
Dude,
that's what's
even
crazy.
The Phantom 4 Advanced, all you're losing with the Phantom 4 Advanced is the side sensors, which you don't need.
No, because if you think about it like this, if you plan on getting something like that close to something, you shouldn't be flying.
No.
I never rely on the front sensors, rear sensors, none of them. Like I don't want to have to use any of my sensors at all. I don't want to use my sensors. If I'm that close to something, we have a problem. Or if I'm putting myself in and it's not like the sensors will protect you from a bird strike, because those birds are typically coming from above or below.
Yeah.
And you're not going to. Have you ever Googled seagull strike on Phantom? Like
no.
and see the birds hitting the drone from the side and getting hit with props. It's some of the most satisfying video I've ever seen.
I'll have to Google it.
Yeah, so it's like seagulls are attacking a Phantom, and like the prop just fucking clips the bird. It's hysterical.
I'm gonna look it up. Seagull drone attack. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's like seagull drone attack or something like that.
Is it seagulls attack our drones? RIP drone. Oh god, there's probably a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. Also, favorite video is when they give X-Lax to the seagulls.
When they give
Have you seen yes. that? I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's real, but it looks real. It's almost sickening. But yeah, so buy from Amazon. Yeah, that's my thing. Is I like buying from Amazon. Like I'm sketchy when it comes to eBay. I was trying to sell my drone on eBay, and it was like they were giving me a hassle, so I won't even use eBay anymore. I remember when you said a couple of videos, there needs to be a website. And sell drones. I understand why you made that video. Yeah, dude, it's frustrating. So like, I kid you not, like it's taken me. So it was funny. I put the Spark up for sale, and the Spark sold so fast. But I put it up for like $400, so that was a good deal. But not really if you compare it to like the value of the Phantom. Somebody bought the Spark so fast. I got a guy who messages me last night. He goes, "Is it still available?" And I say, "Yes, it is." He goes, "No, the Phantom 4." And he goes, "Is this the Pro?" And I said, "No, this is the Advanced." I said, "It's basically identical, except for you're just missing the side obstacle avoidance." He goes, let me research. Okay, you're asking me if it's the Pro. I said, okay. I said, well, if you're interested, I said, you want to know more about it, I said, you can just, check out my YouTube channel. Have it there. Usually that makes a buyer feel better if they can see it. So never hear anything back from him. Got another guy, same thing. I mean, I've got probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 messages from people that they will ask a question and then they'll immediately follow up with, will you take $600? So today,
600 seems to be like the mark.
Dude, that just seems like the mark. So today, when somebody did that to me, I was like, "Yeah, let's meet up," and I just never showed up.
That's awesome
because you insulted.
You're a legend for that.
You're gonna hit me with $600, and then you're just gonna, you think I'm just gonna roll over? No, screw you, dude.
For real, $600 is like. And $600 for that drone is just absurd.
And I thought I was being a good guy too. You're getting 3 sets of props basically, ND filters, and 2 batteries.
You have any batteries?
What?
2 batteries, yeah.
2 batteries.
That's ridiculous.
And it's like I'm pretty meticulous. I check the charge cycles because you can do that. You can see how many times the battery's ever been charged because sometimes that matters. I know like when you sell a MacBook, they want to know how many charge cycles you have.
Ask.
How many charge cycles was on your MacBook when you sold it?
710, which people seem to be high. Like this, I sold it, and the guy that bought it was like, "Oh, the charge cycles are like really high." And I said, "Dude, it's almost 3 years old. Like you have to assume that I'm charging it every day, right? A charge cycle per day, I didn't think it was bad whatsoever. The guy should have known what was to be expected. Exactly. He should have asked if he really cared.
Right.
And he told me, he was like, how can we fix this, whatever. I was like, well, I gotta give you your money back and you can send it to me, or that's about it. And then he said, will you help me pay for a new battery? I said, yeah, I'll pay for half of it. And what's funny is I think that the guy was just trying to get some more money out of me, basically like some more money off of the MacBook. So what I told him is I said, I will pay half of it right now. The money I'm sending you, I'll pay half of it right now, and then half of it once you get the computer fixed. I paid him in half. I haven't heard from him since.
Yeah,
haven't heard from him about getting it fixed. So
it seems super sketchy. And that's realistically, that's like why I so love the whole Swappa deal. Like, you know, I posted up my MacBook, and it's like I put my charge cycles up there. I have 96 charge cycles on my MacBook, which is pretty good for having it for a year. It still has Apple Care for another month, whatever. So I put it up there, and like I priced it on the higher end of the spectrum, because if it's sold and I can get a new MacBook, great. If it doesn't, I don't care. I keep it, no big deal. But that's why I think it's so important to have a website that is verifying these things and doing like drone purchases like this, or camera gear, drone. I mean, there is an easy way to verify, you know, what you're buying, and you know, whether you rely on PayPal to back you or whatever, or if there needs to be a third-party insurance involved. But I think something needs to happen. We need something, because Craigslist, OfferUp, it's too wide of a range of people. Even Facebook Marketplace, it's not a targeted audience, and that's the problem. People don't know what they're buying.
Yeah.
Or they do.
Mess.
Or they do know what they're buying, and they think that they're just going to try to chew you down, or that you're desperate enough. And I'm like, I don't care. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, I'm going to keep it. So piss off. I don't care if it sells. It was fun flying it yesterday. Yesterday that was good to fly it.
It is like a breath of fresh air when I go and I'm flying like the Mavic Air and I put the Phantom 4 up. I'm like, dude, this thing's powerful.
The Phantom is probably my favorite drone. Like, I have the Air, and like there's a poll going. Yesterday, somebody lost his Phantom 3, and he was asking everybody what they should buy. It's crazy. Everybody gravitates towards the Mavic. Yeah, I get it. It's great. It's so portable. But if you look at it from a perspective like I see something that's fragile. It's got a fragile gimbal. It's small. It's not going to do. It's nowhere near as capable. I mean, if traveling is not important to you, get a Phantom all day.
I know. Yeah. And even I've got a backpack for it, and it works perfectly to travel with.
Yeah, like I throw mine. I think Jack's got the same bag. Matter of fact, I think he's here in Tampa.
Ooh.
Jack's down here, dude.
Yet?
I think he's down here. I'll have to message him, but dude, if he's down here, I'm gonna link up with him. I want to go flying with him because he's a registered pilot. Like, you know, we can fly places legally. I can fly certain places legally with him, as long as he's present.
Yeah.
Which that'll be so dope.
Eli said, put on eBay with an auction. The keys will start at very low, like 99 low. Then it'll get people interested in bidding. Yeah, so Eli, I did the same thing with my MacBook.
I did the same thing. They wouldn't let me sell it over $500.
Here's the thing. I put up my MacBook Pro, and you know, this thing right now in my eyes is probably worth around $900. It was a fully spec'd out MacBook Pro 13-inch. And I bought it for originally like almost $2,000, right? So again, this is like a really good price, especially on something that's about 3 years old. I started it out at $300. I let it go up, and the 3 times in a row that I've let it go up and continue, people bid back and forth. Someone has come in, outbid everyone by like $300. Like, they'll go and they'll place a $1,300 bid because they don't care, because they're fake. They're sending fake money. They're using fake accounts. And I'd always go and see the highest bidder, and that person who was the highest bidder was somebody who is from like South Korea and just started their eBay account. That was like the last thing that happened to me. Some guy just started his account the day he bought it. And the thing is you go through for like a couple of days trying to talk to the person, saying like, you know, making sure that it's fake so that you don't just like kind of abandon someone who's actually legit that you think is fake. That's kind of like a no-no. But I sat there for 2 days, was talking to the guy, and then eBay picked up. It was a fake account, and they totally removed my listing, so I couldn't give it to the second highest bidder. So it's just a mess. eBay's a mess.
Yeah, they need to fix eBay, and that's part of the reason why if you're going to sell a MacBook, absolutely sell it on Swappa. Like, they have such an ideal, like, listing environment. I've sold 7, 8 devices on there, and the rating system is amazing, and they don't mess with, like, so I have a skin on my MacBook. When I posted it, he wouldn't let me post it as mint condition, even though underneath that skin, it's mint. There's not a scratch on there. He's like, if I can't see the shell as mint, you can't post it as mint. You can only post it as good.
Yep.
So I put in the comment section, only posting it as good because I have a skin on here, even though I'm like, if the buyer wants me to take the skin off, sure, I'll take it off. But I'm not taking it off until I have a buyer. Because I lined that skin up perfectly, and I'm not doing it again.
Oh, dude. I lined it up perfectly one time. I had a deep brand skin for my MacBook, lined it up perfectly, laid it down, and the Apple logo was backwards.
Oh, dude. I've never bought a D-brand skin. I've bought 2 slick wrap skins for my MacBooks, and both times they've been fine. The one time I was taking it was this one. I forgot what. I'm glad I had it on there because I was moving the monitor, and the monitor tilted to the right and just scratched the skin. Never scratched the shell. Ooh. Never scratched the shell, but it scratched the skin, and I'm like, that's why you buy. That's why you buy a skin on there. Hands down, that's why you do it. So,
when I just purchased I got the iPhone 10. I got the
tell them why you got a case on
the
there
replacement. Now. Yeah, no. This is the Moment case. I was taking pictures with.
Is that the Moment case? That actually looks really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It's all right. The buttons are terrible. They're really mushy. They're horrible. Yeah.
That's sort of a bummer.
And it's an absolute bitch to get off. But the funny thing is ever since I've gotten this, I've never touched the back glass. I've always had a case on it. Like, I can tell you that a human finger, unless it's been in the assembly line or whatever, has not touched the back of my iPhone. And I want to keep it that way. So once I get the deep brand skin that I ordered, I'm going to try to get all the dust off it, use like a dust destroyer, and then I'm going to lay the skin on. So hopefully nobody can ever touch that back glass.
And you know what? With these new iPhones, the skins go on so easy. Like, so easy. I've always been I use UAG. And, you know, I like it because I can get it on and off pretty easily. But, you know, I was always afraid of the phone bending. Like, when I had the iPhone 6 and everything. Yeah. And then to find out that was actually a legit deal.
I got a Tech 21 case, which is pretty nice. It's like a jelly material, which is pretty cool.
Tech 21's solid. What the hell is that? That's the second time that's the second time I've heard that. It was like something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Your house is haunted.
Did you hear that? I have a battery backup over here, and then I have a hard drive here. So I'm wondering if it's the hard drive making the noise. That's the second time I've heard that.
Is it plugged in?
Yeah, because I have battery backup power in my network, and then I have it power in my network attached storage.
Yeah,
but that was weird, man. Because my other laptop's not. Yeah, dude, that's weird. Anyways, we've been streaming for you guys are rich. We are definitely not rich. We just work really, really hard for what you want. Like, it's not about being rich. It's just about working hard. Yeah. And if you want something, you save up for it and you get it. YouTube doesn't pay us, I promise you. We're just normal guys that just like making videos and work really hard.
Yeah, I mean, some people might spend their money on clothes. Some people might spend their money on cars, but exactly. I spend all my money on tech. Like,
exactly.
Anytime I get a paycheck, it goes right out to some sort of technology. So
you must have over 9,000. 9,000 what? I don't know. Definitely or not. iPhone X is actually just it's a phone. Most carriers finance and stuff, so it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I pay monthly for my iPhone 10. I've got the most storage. So the iPhone 10, the best iPhone they sell, 256 gigabytes, and I pay $52 a month. Like, that's not that bad.
I don't understand this one. This is the guy. Anyways, so hey Carlos, how's it going, man? So we'll wrap it up tonight. Billy, thanks so much, man, for hanging out. Sort of an impromptu show. So you're streaming probably this week, right? You're back home. You're not traveling.
Yeah, I'll do something. I was thinking about doing something a little bit different and doing like a live flight instead of. Oh,
that'd be cool, man.
Instead of like a live stream sitting down. So
and then that'll get you at least, you get like 30 minutes or 25 minutes of time flight.
Yeah, see what happens. I'll try to go somewhere cool and do it.
You throw it in auto or just put it in manual?
For what?
The live flight.
The camera settings?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I know I'll actually fly it. I've never.
No,
I've
no, no, no,
never
no,
live
no. I'm
streamed
talking.
my
I'm
drone
talking.
before.
I'm talking about the camera settings. You're gonna keep it in auto,
Oh yeah.
so you don't have to mess with the settings
Probably.
back and forth.
Probably, yeah. Maybe what I'll do is I'll like do a live flight, try to take a certain amount of shots, and then
Yeah.
try to make an edit out of those shots. But
That's a good
something
idea.
that I think would be pretty cool.
Do a how-to as you fly.
What's that?
Do a how-to of how you line up your shots as you fly. That
Yeah,
would be
but
pretty cool.
something that would be cool is live streaming from the Inspire 2, and you could keep rolling as you're switching the batteries out. So those hot swappable batteries, that'd be pretty cool.
Dude, it's just the more and more I hear about this, just you gotta get it, dude. You just gotta get it.
I know.
It's just gonna be such a like next level. Even do you have to buy the ProRes license if you buy it, or do you
No, you don't
have
have
it?
to. So what I'm thinking about doing is just getting the X4S with it. Just nice start off. And something I'm really interested in doing, something I haven't seen anybody else do, is compare the X4S to the Phantom 4 Pro and kind of determine
Yeah, I've not
whether the
seen that.
Inspire 2 with
Is
the
actually worth
X4S
it.
is actually worth it. Because if you look at the X4S, like if you look up, DJI Zen Use X4S camera, the gimbal, it looks exactly like the Phantom 4 Pro's camera. It's kind of scary.
But I wish there was a way you can prove the use case between the two cameras, because obviously the Inspire, is very much, it could be a cinema drone, and it is used on a lot of
Yeah.
cases and commercials and stuff, versus let's say that of the Phantom 4 Pro. That would be so cool if somehow you can compare the two in that aspect. I mean most people, I really do, or do like a blind test, man. Like where you play the video from the
true. That'd
iPad
be
and just
cool.
walk up to people and be like, hey, which video looks better to you, and see if people can actually tell the difference between the two cameras.
I know that MKBHD does that, where he does like the smartphone tests, and I'm all over the place with those pictures, I swear.
It's funny. It's funny with like Jimmy Kimmel, like how he does that. Hey, what do you think of this new iPhone? And it's like totally not the new iPhone. He just walks up to new people and he's like, what do you think of this phone? And they're like, oh yeah, it's amazing. It's and it's like literally last year's. So
Funny.
That would be cool to say. There's a lot of cool ideas, but I'm getting to the point where I want to do something a little more different. I hate always reviewing a product, but I would like to compare the products we already have until something else comes out. But Parrot event, dude, that sounds so. I hope it's something awesome.
I do too. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know if it's going to be an absolute shit show, but we'll see what happens.
Well, if anybody comes up behind you, make sure they know who you are this time. Don't let them grab crap out of your hands. Film it, dude. Make sure.
Oh shit, yeah, Casey.
Yeah, be like, dude, listen. I waited in line, back in line. I don't care who you are. Because there's a lot of creators in New York now. It's like
I know, dude.
There's so many creators in New York.
It's almost more than LA. I feel like I'm more a fan of the people in New York than LA. Like I follow more people in New York, which is cool.
Yeah, they got some good guys. I like, who I like? You should check him out. Jared Polin. I don't know if you see him. Jared Polin, Frono's Photo.
Okay.
He's actually not in New York. He's in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Type in Jared Polin. Yeah, he does just cameras and whatnot, and he does some drone footage. But he's got a really awesome take on a lot of things. But he's out of Philadelphia. He would be cool. He would be cool to meet.
Oh, I've seen this guy before.
Yeah.
797,000-ish subs.
Yeah, and he doesn't act like it. That's for damn sure.
This dude's afro. That's sweet.
Dude, his fro is just sweet. But alrighty, guys, that's gonna do it. Joe, thanks for joining. JB Drones, Carlos, Drone Image, Rick, all you guys, Eli, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight on the show.
Yeah, man.
We'll be back again next week. Hopefully, we'll have some more topics. And if you guys have any suggestions for what you want to see on the show, easiest way to get a hold of myself is visit originaldobo.com. There's a submit link. It'll take you to my contact info. You can submit me an email or hit Billy and myself up on Twitter. We're usually pretty active there as well. So that's the easiest way to get a hold of either one of us is Twitter or visit myself on our website. What's that?
Did you just make that website for yourself?
Originaldobo.com?
Sweet. Yeah.
Well, it's been active for a little bit. I just haven't done much with
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is sweet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about. I want to turn it into something else, but Yeah, it works.
I like it.
It's a good way to host. That's where I get a lot of times people will contact me through that. And it's not spam.
Yeah.
It's not spam when they contact through there. Thank God.
That's nice, dude. Spam is the worst.
Cooperation, please. I got hit up. They wanted me to review a beauty mirror the other day, which I thought was
Dude, you should have
hysterical.
done it.
I don't want to review a beauty mirror though. I didn't want to do it. It like had the whole thing. So instead, I'm reviewing a light switch. I'll take a light switch. It's like one of those voice activated light switches. I'll take that. That's fine. It's probably gonna burn my house down.
Not that, dude. Yeah, you might want to check your insurance or something.
So, anyways, guys, we'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, our in-flight entertainment is about to begin. For further details, please refer to your copy of the in-flight entertainment guide found in the seat pocket in front of you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our in-flight entertainment is about to begin. For further details, please refer to your copy of the in-flight entertainment guide found in the seat pocket in